Okay, so where's the meeting? Okay. Yeah, no participants. Share host, okay. Demaria. Hi, Sue, can you hear me? Sue, if you can hear me, your mic's not on. Now your mic's on.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Kathy?
I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
Bill, can you hear me?
Oh, I got it. It's me. It's my
Okay,
computer.
good. Good.
All right, why isn't this on? Now. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
And I can hear you. So we're working.
We're
How are you
perfect.
this evening?
We're perfect. How you doing, Kathy?
I'm good. And before we get started with this meeting, I just wanted to remind you that after Thanksgiving holiday, base with you so I can get ready for my bulletin in January on the idea of trying to tell them why the National Home can help people in Georgia or wherever. And I want to do like a whole push on it. And I'm also would like to bring it up at the midwinter conference when I'm out there. I think they give me a few minutes to speak. And if they do, I'd like to announce the program at that time.
Perfect. Angie, our program director, we just came from, we're having a town hall here tonight with the residents. I just came from that. So she'll be joining us. And I told her that you really want to put a push on that. And we've had a few people, especially at convention, ask us about that. You know, how do we handle families, or what can we offer families that the home coming here isn't the right thing for them.
Right.
So
Okay.
we will definitely, we'll talk to, we'll have Angie address that tonight, and then we'll make sure, we have something written up for you.
That'd be great.
Yeah, for your upcoming things.
I just think that's so important because I was surprised when I was approached on it because I thought everybody understood, especially with the helpline and everything else. And you announce it every time it's posted on your Facebook page. And I was sort of taken back, but you and I both know that people don't always read.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like everybody, people just get so much information today. And it's hard to keep up on all of it, but we definitely want to address that. And we appreciate you helping, spread the word, because it's not going to be for everybody. It's just not to pick up and move. But and our Family and Veteran Resource Center is going to be very helpful in that too.
Yeah. Are you going to get that open this year?
Yeah, we actually did the ribbon cutting at the annual meeting in October. And Brian, we're probably not going to have one of these in December, but we'll circle back around and do another one in January. But we'll have Brian on to talk about it, because it's a great way for us to find residents in other states also. For example, Lynn Bloomer, the chief of staff, and I went to a Michigan National Guard event. It was a leadership conference here a couple of weeks ago. And we want to find the same event in every state of the Michigan National Guard. It'll just be, it's a great way. And those are the families that need this type of service.
Yeah, I don't know whether I ever told you or not, but about 2 years ago, they were doing a big push for membership. And I was drafted to go and speak to different places. And one of the places I went was the Blue Star Mothers meeting.
Oh,
And I started my spiel and I passed around the brochure, and it was on everything the auxiliary could offer. The home was part of it. And one of the ladies raised their hand and she said, I don't know anything about this place. What are you talking about?
mhm.
Because I just sort of, and I'm thinking to myself, these are the very people we should be talking to. These are the very people that should know and know how to reach out to you guys. And we're not even getting the word out to them. So it's not just like National Guard, it's all kinds of veterans organizations, including like the Blue Star Mothers and everything else, that they're just unaware. So we
Yeah.
have to do a better job at promoting than we are doing.
Oh, that I cannot agree more.
Yeah.
Cannot agree more. I reconnected, Brian and I were in Vegas a couple of weeks ago at a military influencer conference, something we've never done before. And I reconnected with Stars and Stripes.
Mhm.
When I first started 10 years ago, we did some advertising in Stars and Stripes. And now, I mean, 10 years ago compared to now they do all this geo fencing, you know, when it comes to the phones and all this stuff. So he said we can do digital bulletin boards at bases. So that's something we'll get it priced out and see if we can't get some of that into our budget for next year.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But yeah,
Well,
no, you're right.
I think we need to promote better than we're doing, and that's my job. And I'm going to try the best I can and try to get information out with the contact information and encourage people to start reaching out. If we did a membership drive, and they always seem to be doing them, there's no reason why they can't promote National Home at the same time. So
No,
I'm
that's
going to
great.
try to make that a point.
I'm sending myself an email right now about, because you want something about off-campus services to put, when would you need that information?
Sometime in December, because I have the first chance that goes out is in my bulletin in January, and that goes out before I leave for the midwinter. And then actually I would officially introduce it to everybody at the midwinter, and then just continue to focus on it for the rest of the year. That's
Okay.
going to be my whole end of the year push, is to try to get people to understand that it's not just people in Michigan or the northern, in the Big Ten. It's not just for the Big Ten. It's for all of them.
Yep, it's absolutely right. And then we talk about that all the time. We got Michigan covered, basically. We need help in the other. Well, that's what I was talking about when Lynn and I went to the Michigan National Guard event. It's like every state at the National Guard level has these leadership conferences, and they're the young people with families, you know, that we need to reach. So that's what we want to talk about. Do you think, I don't see any, you think any of your folks, everybody got it? What's that?
They're supposed to be. I sent the message out on a on my what's that? The blog.
Gotcha.
On the blog. That to make sure that they zoom in.
Okay, because we sent out I know I got some remarks from some people that can't make it, which I totally understand. And I am recording this one. So last time I didn't have anybody helping me. So I was flustered and I thought I was recording it, and then I didn't. So Megan set it up so it automatically records. She'll send out a blurb about the next one we're going to have, and then this link, and people can watch it on their own.
Well, you'll do one in January. So I will do when I send out my bulletin in January, I'll announce it also at that time again. But
Okay.
they just got in October, they had just received the blog. And in the blog, I told them that make sure they zoomed in for this so they could ask any additional questions they may have about the name change. Remember, I sent that to you?
Yep.
And so I told them to make sure they came into the Zoom meeting and they could ask any questions they may have at that time.
Yep.
So yes, everyone got it. So
perfect. Well, we what did we do? We sent out the original invite that had, Sue forgot to push record. And then Megan sent out a reminder, I believe this week, Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday.
Mhm.
So anyway, we'll just keep, we just keep trying. What time? It's not 6:30 yet. So, and Angie's getting on right now, and I'll make sure. That's what I was doing. I was sending myself an email. So, that's something for me to think about when we're scheduling January. When is midwinter, like the cruise and all that? Do you have the date?
Yeah, I do. Let me check him.
Because
Everything's on. the phone.
One of them that we scheduled was, I think, during like junior, or there was some type of VFW training.
Okay, the January cruise dates are, let's see, 21st through the 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, through the 27th. Now, those are travel days and so forth, but that's all. But that should not interfere. If you're sticking to the third Thursday of the month, which would be January 19th, that should be okay.
Okay.
Because I personally don't leave till Saturday.
All right. I just wanted to make sure. We just decided December's just gets so hectic and people are trying to take some time off, and
I agree that it's hard to give this a full attention and deal with everything else that's going on in your personal life.
Right. Yep. So I'm an article. You want an actual article, right? About
you can list it, or you can just however you want to present it, and then I'll try to tie it together into my bulletin for the 1st of January.
About off-campus services. Okay. Perfect. All right. So I set myself one of those pesky reminders.
Okay. I see.
There's
Okay.
Angie.
Hello.
Wyoming's on, Maine's on. Tiffany March is on. She's from Wyoming. Is that one of your people or mine?
Department of Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, she might be one of my chairmen. I'd have to look it up. I have that paperwork right here somewhere. I think paperwork's the bane of all evil.
I was in a meeting today and somebody was making fun of people that print stuff. I said, hey, I still print some stuff.
I always have a hard copy.
You know what? It's come in handy more than once.
Tiffany is one of my people. She is the chairman from Wyoming.
Perfect.
Tiffany, if you're there, turn on your mic, honey. And your video. If you can hear us.
Because I will ask people to mute, when Angie gets started, and there's a little bit of housekeeping to go over. You just find that it's better that way. And then if people if they know how to use the reactions, like, let me just click here. Put a hand up. There we go. There's Tiffany.
Right. I'd like, after you get done with your housekeeping, if you'd open it to let them make any comments or ask any questions that they would have, because like I said, I did say they could ask questions because of the name change coming up.
Sure, I can address that, and then if there's any questions, that was on part of my opening session. So it's still just 6:28. So what do we got here? We got about 16.
Hello.
There's Sarah from Illinois.
Hi, Sarah.
Here I am, Debbie from Louisville, Kentucky.
Hi.
Hey,
Can you hear
Debbie.
me?
Yes.
Hi. Thank you.
Well, for all you Southern folks, we're getting some snow up this way. So.
Oh, and we thought we got 50-degree weather. We thought it was cold. That's South Carolina.
So we got dumped on today.
Did you, Annabelle?
We got dumped on. I got like 7
Hello.
inches in my yard.
Oh, boy. I hope you get to stay in.
And I saw where up the Buffalo way, they're getting a ton of snow this weekend up in Buffalo, all through the snow belt, I guess, coming in off of Lake Erie.
Yeah.
They're talking like 5 feet of snow.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Well, the only reason I'm in tune with that is my husband's from Buffalo and he's worried about his bills.
Playing?
Hey,
You mean playing?
yeah,
Mhm.
playing.
Let's see. I don't want.
I love snow. I wish we could get some in Kentucky.
Oh, we
Well,
don't want
you
snow
know,
in
I
New
bet you could-
Jersey.
I bet you could talk some of those northern states to shipping you some if they could.
Yep. That is for sure.
Okay. Mhm.
All right, it's 6:30. Do you want to wait a few more minutes or do you want to get started, Kathy?
You go ahead and I think as they pop in, if they have any questions, they can.
Okay. I'd like to start first to ask everybody to mute themselves, and then if you want to if you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. We just found that that's the best way. If you don't know how to do that, it's down at the bottom in the reactions, and you click on that arrow, or I'm sorry, you click on that button, and then you can raise your hand. So anyway, welcome. My name is Sue Alverson. I'm the development director here at the National Home. This Zoom with the National Home really started with the Buddy Poppy National Home chairman. And we started it last year and we continued it. It's just kind of the silver lining of the COVID situation. It's just a way to connect when it's, when we can't get to see each other all the time. So we try to do this event once a month, and I asked different directors and different folks here to come on, and just so you can learn more about the National Home, learn about how many houses we have filled, any questions you have, so you can help promote it. I know Kathy is the ambassador this year, and I've known Kathy for probably about as long as I've worked here, and I just had my 10-year anniversary, Kathy.
I think that's about right, 10 years.
Yep, I think it's been about that. So she's been a big supporter of the home, and now she's pushing Homefront Hero, pushing just getting the word out. And I think you just always done a really good job, and we appreciate that very much. We do. So I want to, let me see, housekeeping. If you have a question, please raise your hand. If you were here, I'd say, do you know where the bathrooms are? But I'm assuming you know where your bathrooms are, right? Supposed to
don't,
laugh,
Sue.
Angie.
I don't.
So I was telling Kathy, the next meeting, we're not going to have a meeting in December because it's just so busy and we just want to take one thing off your plate, but we will send out an email that has this recording, and you can, please share it with everybody and anybody. Again, this started with the Buddy Poppy National Home chairman, but we've opened it up. We send it out to about every, the quartermasters, the treasurers, the commanders, the presidents. I mean, the more the merrier. So we're opening that all up. I'd like to start out to discuss the logo and the name refresh, if you will. We recently refreshed our logo and have begun reverting back to our original name of VFW National Home. I know that people call this the children's home. I just had somebody do that today, and it's really misleading to people because people think it's an orphanage then, and it's never been an orphanage. So we're going back to the original name. And soon in the next home notes that you get, there'll be a link to our store, because all our new clothes have our new logo on them. And I don't know that I have. I don't think you can see mine. Can you see mine?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So we took off like the television screen behind the logo, and then we dropped for children. So it looks clean, it's fresh, and it's just more precise of what we do. This is it was the name that we were founded with in 1925, and better reflects our program today as we serve families, not only children. So that's really, you know, it wasn't a name change. It was really reverting back to our original name. The 4 Children was actually the DBA. So does anybody have any questions or concerns? Do you hear anything out in the field on that? I think it's go ahead. Any questions on that? Yeah, Debbie, can you unmute?
She didn't listen. She didn't hear. There she goes.
There she goes.
Okay, can you hear me?
It's kind
Yeah.
of choppy, but
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Mhm.
I know the whole video for me is choppy. Sorry, I don't know what's going on.
that's
I
okay.
can hear you most of the time, but not all the time. My question is the new logo. Can we order apparel like that from the store?
Yes, we're just getting that updated on the website, and we will be sending out a link to that in our next home notes, which you'll see the beginning, probably the beginning of December.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank
And there's
you.
some of the blouses, like I got to pick out the women's stuff. Mike, our executive director, I let him pick out the men's stuff, but I picked out the women's stuff. And these blouses are what were at the VFW at convention. And I just love them because they're flowy and they wash nice, they travel nice. And then those lightweight, I don't know if you call them a Angie's got one on. It's a lightweight cardigan, or I guess
Yeah,
you'd call it a
We have
cardigan.
these color ones too.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a
The
bright
night
blue
cardigan.
in these blouses. So I really like this stuff for women, for the ladies. So I cut a deal with Mike, the
Okay.
executive director. I said, you can pick what you want if you let me pick out the women's stuff. So any questions about the name
That's
change
good.
or the logo?
I like it.
I'll address some of the questions that I have gotten and concerns that I've received
Sure.
as your ambassador. And that was that, so they're not going to take kids anymore? And I'm going, oh, no. And so in trying to explain it, I have said to all of the people that have questioned me on it, was what we're doing is we're addressing the needs of the veteran and his family. And that includes the wife and the children. And we feel that we can be more helpful by addressing as a whole instead of just narrating it. And Sue, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they've taken just kids since 2012.
Correct. That's when that change. Yes, that is correct.
So we're still serving children. We're serving children in the family circle so that everybody in the family is on the same page and they're understanding what their needs are as a family. And that's the important part.
Yep, that's correct. And one of our taglines, kind of one of our new taglines, is building strong families. And you'll see we have a t-shirt and there's an emblem on the back of it that says building strong families. And we just ordered some crew neck sweatshirts and it's building strong families on the back of that too, with the logo on the front. So it's really sharp. And you'll see a tagline, every child deserves a happy family. That's another tagline that we've used. So it's still, the children, it's still all about the children, but it's about keeping the families together for the children. But it just was too misleading to have that children on the name. So any other questions? If not, I'm going to introduce Angie. Everybody else set? All right, I'm going to introduce Angie Harkins. She is our program director. And here's Angie.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to share my screen, Sue, if I know how to do this.
Okay, I'm going to, whoops.
Well, you disabled it.
Did I just disable it? Okay, try again.
Oh, there we go.
There you are.
Can you see my screen where it says
I can't.
the welcome?
Now it's your email.
Oh, you don't want to see that. And
then make it full screen.
Yeah, there we go.
Down at the bottom, right?
Okay. Can you see it now?
It
Yeah,
just
it's
says
not-
the welcome.
Yeah, it's not full screen.
Not full screen.
For some reason, it did it on my other one.
Oh, you got double screens. That
I
makes
think
it
she's
hard.
got it now. Is this a PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I think you might. be
Okay,
able
so
to-
I'll just do it like this. So, for anybody, this is a view of our campus, an aerial view. We have a little over 600 acres here, 80 of which is our campus where the residents live. And we have a new mission statement now, and I'm sorry if I'm not looking at the camera because my camera's on my other screen, but the National Home's mission statement is the VFW National Home assists military veterans and their families with children by creating a foundation of services and resources to achieve their personal and family goals in order to move forward in a positive, safe, and healthy environment. So our goal here is to provide resources and assist the families on campus so that they can transition to off campus, to buy a house, rent a house, and we give them the fundamentals here to be able to transition off on their own. Our priorities here at the home are veterans and their families, and then communication, and that communication goes across the board to communication with staff that works here on campus, communication with our residents, communication with our donors, with the VFWs, the auxiliary, the cooties, just communication with everybody that's in part of our VFW National Home family. And then the other priorities is our funds and finance. That's how we operate. And then what we value, integrity. We value doing the right thing as staff, and doing the right thing to provide these services to our veterans and families and the families that live here on campus. And then community, a group of like-minded people. We want our families, when they move here to campus, to feel like they are part of a community, that they're part of a community where they can interact with each other, interact with staff, and feel like it's a safe place where they can all come together and help one another. And that goes with family, a core unit working and learning together. I've noticed a lot in the last couple months that the new veterans that have moved to campus, they rely on our senior people that have lived here to learn more about what we do and, things that they've done in the program and just working together, but they're utilizing those veterans that have been here for a year or longer to learn things about our program and then to build those relationships, which is really great to see. And then veteran-driven, strong and deliberate focus on veteran support. We're strongly working on that. We just recently cut the ribbon for our veteran resource center that is downstairs of the building that I work in. So we're getting there. We have Brian Lorente. I don't know if a lot of you know Brian. He's worked here for 23 years. He is now our veteran resource manager, and I'll talk a little bit about that at the end of this. So that is his job, to get out in the community and bring those resources here that can support our families, but also to work with our case managers to bring those resources, to bring the issues and the resources that the families need on campus to our resource center. And then accountability, conducting ourselves ethically and with honor. We all have to be accountable for what we do and show up and provide this stuff and make sure that this is a community where people can grow. Again, it's a picture of our campus. Like I said, we have over 600 acres, 80 which of our campus. We have 42 single family homes on campus. We have a museum that you can go through. It's a really nice museum and see the history of the National Home. And then we have our supportive structures, which include Laura's section with support services, which is the community center that has the gymnasium, the fitness center, library, computer lab, meeting spaces. They have a sewing room in there, arts and crafts room, a game room. And then we also have our meeting spaces and classrooms throughout the campuses that we use. I have two houses in this PowerPoint. One is the Michigan house, because that is one of the oldest houses is the oldest house on campus, just to see the structural of it. They're all amazing. They're all brick houses. So, the structure is very sturdy and nice. My daughter's in love with the brick houses. She really wants us to live in one, which we don't. But that's our Michigan house. And then here's another style house of our Indiana house. Again, this is like, some of the houses are 2 levels. This one is most of the main level. And then here are our picture of the new duplexes. We have 6 of them on campus, and these ones are handicap accessible. So the way that they were built is if someone is in a wheelchair, they can get in and out of the house easy and around the house. And like the kitchen counters are built so you can pull a wheelchair up to them. So these are our newest houses on campus. So now we'll go into the eligibility piece of the program. So there's 3 lanes of eligibility. All of them include that you have to have children 18 or under the age of 18. So the first lane is active duty, or that the service member is deployed, and the spouse and children can move in here. And with that active duty, that includes National Guard and Reserve. So that's the first lane of eligibility. The second lane of eligibility is veteran. So any veteran that has children can move on campus. And then the third lane is the VFW auxiliary piece. So they can have a parent or grandparent that served and is part of the VFW. And so with these 3 lane of eligibility, they'll show us their DD 214. We'll go through that, make sure they meet the criteria, and then they'll go into the application process. So a lot of things, I know it was brought up earlier about the children. They have to have children to live here. Another lane of it is that if they have to either be married, single, or if they're in the divorce process, the divorce has to be final before they can move on to campus. And the reason for that is in a divorce, there's always a custody battle with the children, and we don't want the family moving here to campus and then something happens with custody and we are brought into that custody battle. And then if the kids get removed from that parent, then they're not eligible to live on campus anymore. So they have to provide the divorce decree and showing that they have custody of the kids. And I'll get a little bit more in how we figure out with the kids with birth certificates and stuff when I go through the application process. Here's a little diagram of the program department, which I oversee. The big chunk of it is our case managers. Our case managers are each get assigned when a family moves to campus, they get assigned a case manager and they work with that case manager throughout their time here, which can be for up to 4 years. They do have to renew each year. So they work with the case manager through their goals and their process while they're here. The case managers also put on parenting classes and other classes for the families. Our case managers just did a Veteran Day program before Veterans Day for our veterans on campus. And then Miss Laura and her department did something for the kids. So that's the bulk of the program office, the big chunk that I work over here with. But I also oversee the Early Education Center, which is our on-campus daycare that is for preschool and under. It is free of charge of the residents that live here. And then there's a discounted rate for staff. So that's a huge resource and benefit we have for families that move here because they don't have to worry about daycare for their kids that are not in school. And then we also have our support services, which is Miss Laura and her team. There's 4 of them over there. They do everything from after school curricular activities, recreation. Right now they're doing some life skills with CPR training. They run the donated goods bank, which is over by our training center where families can go on Friday to get clothes or anything that they need for the house, dry goods for food, anything like that. So they also run that. And then they do the summer program for the kids. They go on field trips. They do sporting events like volleyball. We have volleyball, basketball, softball field. They do put all these events together and put a calendar of events together for the summer and during the school year for all the kids on campus. So they kind of work a different schedule than what we work because they work 11 to 7. So that way they're here when the kids get out of school and that they can participate in stuff until the evening. And then the kids go home. And then we have our veteran services, which is our veteran resource center that's downstairs that Brian manages. That's a new thing that we've added, like I said. And then with that, all of these different areas, except for the EEC, the EEC is a licensed daycare center by the state of Michigan, so they have to follow the state of Michigan guidelines. And they work with a lot of resources, but not so many outside resources. But our case managers and our support services and the Veteran Center work with our outside resources, which is if we get a family that comes in and needs marriage counseling or any kind of therapy that we cannot provide them here on campus, now how it works is we'll send them downstairs to Brian, who will then get the resource needed out in the community. And then we'll give that information to the family and we'll help them through that process to go work with that outside resource. So that's kind of how the program office is set up. I think I have 21 staff under me, so it keeps me pretty busy. So the benefits and expectations of the program, like I said, is each family receives a case manager. They receive the house, and the house and the utilities are all paid for, so they don't have to worry about those bills while being here. They do have to follow their agreements, which are the facilities agreements that they fill out with the facilities department, and then our program agreement that they're going to follow all the rules that we have on campus. And then they work on their goals, which is their family plan that they turn into their case manager. So when they go through the application process, they already have to provide us with the goals that they're looking to accomplish or work on. But when they sit down to actually do their family plan and get into the real guts of the program, those are the goals that they have to work on and they have to make progress in. And with those goals, they have to have the 40 hours of productivity. So if their goals are to go back to school or to find a job or to get a better job or to have parenting classes and work on their parenting and discipline with their children, those all go towards their 40 hours of product. Sorry, I can't speak today. It's the second time I've been talking to people. So that goes towards their 40 hours of productivity. And then just recently, within the last 6 months, we designed a passport for campus events. And what that passport does is that they have to attend a certain amount of events on campus to be able to get credit, which goes towards their family plan. And that is so that, like tonight, we had a town hall meeting where we brought them all in and we introduced the resource center and a couple people that we have working through the resource center. And Sue and I went over Cootie Christmas and what to expect in the next couple of weeks. And so they get credit for attending that town hall meeting because they're participating, and it brought in the new families to meet other families. So we'll sign off on the big events and some small events. And when they hit those 10, we can check that off for the year that they met that in their family plan. And so it helps them into their second, third, or fourth year into the program. And then also the support services to use the on-campus resources and also to use any referrals that we use for the outside experts. Like I said, back to the marriage counseling, individual counseling, family counseling, and then the counseling for the kids, or if it's working with someone on, with their VA benefits, helping them get into the VA or someone to work with those benefits, to use those off-campus resources too is a huge part of the program. So case management, we currently have 78 children on campus, 49 parents with a total of 127 living on campus. In 16, we have 34 houses that are filled, and 16 of those houses are veteran families. We had 37 as of last Friday living here, but we just had 3 families transition out of the program, which is really cool to see them grow and move out, buy a house. So we currently have 34. We have 2 in the process of being approved to hopefully move in next week before Thanksgiving. But this is really huge from when I first started, because when I first started, we only had, I think it was 17 houses filled, with 16 of them as veteran families. So we're growing. It's pretty awesome that we're getting the houses filled. I know Todd's probably on here and he might be annoyed with me because we're moving really, really fast. But it's really great to see. And it's really great to see these families connecting. And it's a great group of people so that they can also rely on each other for resources. So with that, just some pictures of some of our case managers and working with some of the families. And they are kind of the backbone of the program, because they are the ones working with the families to meet their goals and get through the program. So they work hard. We currently have 4 of them that are working with the families. And so they each carry about anywhere from 9 to 10 cases themselves. We do have 1 part-time person that holds 4 cases. So yeah, that's our case management. And like I said, I'm hoping to have us filled by the beginning of next year. So we have applications coming in daily for families that are now starting to hear about us and wanting to move on campus. So in the last 2 weeks, I think we've had quite a bit of female veterans reach out to us. So that's also good. And here's just some pictures of the kids down at the EEC. Like I said, those are for children preschool through infant. So they have to be 6 weeks old, and then they can be through preschool, and then they transition to public schools for kindergarten. So it's a great group of people that work down there. They're open from 7:30 until 5:30. So that way parents that work early or ones that don't get out until 5 have the availability, to have their kids down there. They currently have 16 kids enrolled down there, and they keep themselves pretty busy. And then we have our education department, which falls under support services. Like I said, this is where they learn, they come after school and use the computer lab. Miss Laura loves to teach things with chemistry and all that. So the kids are always doing something new. In one of the pictures, you see 2 of the kids, they made cookies. Mr. Mike, not Big Mike, our executive director, but we call him Big Mike and Little Mike, because we have Mr. Mike, who works over in the support services too, that helped the kids make, I think, 6 different kinds of cookies. And then they sold them at a bake sale to raise money to go on a field trip. And then in the other picture, you see Miss Rhonda with one of our teenagers. Miss Rhonda is usually here pretty late every night, because after she gets done working at 4:30, she goes over to the community center and teaches piano lessons. And they do 2 piano recitals a year. So she works with the kids, they learn how to play the piano, and then I think they learn 3 songs, and then they play them at the recital for us. I think they also can pick another instrument that she helps them play. And then we have our summer enrichment program. This is during the summertime when the kids are off of school. They plan field trips for them. They come in and do activities. And one of the pictures, you see them making slime. Another one of the pictures, you see that they went to the local library and went to a foam party, which was really cool. And then a lot of the kids get together in the summertime and ride their bikes throughout campus. And then there's a picture up there of the bake sale, some of our staff buying cookies from them. Cookies were really good. And then they also take field trips down to our farm down here at the home to see the rabbits and the hogs during the summertime when we first get them, and then throughout the process of having them. So with that, the support services also does the 4-H program with the kids. So when the kids are 8 and older, they can sign up for the 4-H program. And last year, I just started in March when they had just gotten the hogs. We had 17 of them. So the kids, if they want to participate, can either pick a hog or a rabbit. And so we had 17 hogs this year and 2 rabbits. And they get them from when they're really little. And then they are the ones that they go down there, they feed them, they water them, they clean out their pen that they stay in down at the farm. They clean up the farm. They do all the work. Miss Nancy and Miss Lauren, all of them, they're there to assist them, but the kids do all the work. They learn how to show them at the local fair in Eaton County. And then they go to the fair and they show their hogs, and then they sell them, which is really cool. All of our kids this year placed and got a ribbon, and they all sold their hogs for a decent price. And so then they take that money, they pay back the home for the cost of the hogs and the feed and all that. And then they get to keep the money that's left over. So they're learning the importance of, working hard and it paying off. So some of the pictures of with the kids showing their hogs and with their ribbons. Some of the kids decided to do 2 hogs, which was really cool, but I think they found out it's a lot of work. And then in this picture, is our little boy that showed the rabbits. And the thing I love about showing this slide is that he was so nervous to show his rabbits and didn't think he was going to place, and is a super shy kid. But when he got out there, he was focused and he did it, and he ended up getting second place. And he was so excited and it was so awesome. And he ended up selling both of his rabbits. So he did a really good job. And then we have our Buddy Poppy child, Aurora. She is, for the Buddy Poppy child, she goes to a lot of the bigger events. She comes to state day. She goes to national convention. I always tell her she could probably give this PowerPoint presentation better than I can. She's a great public speaker at her young age. Her time as a Buddy Poppy child is coming to an end. So we'll be sending out applications to the people on campus that have a child in that age range to apply for the Buddy Poppy child. But Aurora's done a great job. She loves what she does. She's a people pleaser and always smiles and is always ready to work. So we'll miss her as a Buddy Poppy child, but she got very big shoes to fill. I will say that. And then we have, again, there's our eligibility requirements, but why this slide is up here is to show that we have the 800 number. And then we also have the link that you can go to on our website that they can just click, and it'll either call our hotline or they can do it through the internet. So then it sends us the email that someone has asked for more information. And so when they do that, that starts the process. So their inquiry starts the process of the application. And then our helpline worker will ask them to send in their DD 214 so we can make sure that they fall under one of the 3 lanes of eligibility. And then also with that, if they say that they have 2 kids and that they're married, we ask for them to send in their marriage certificate and the birth certificates of the kids. So we make sure that the kids are theirs and that they are married and not, going through a divorce, or if they're single, they don't have to send any of that stuff in, just the birth certificates. If they are divorced and there's another parent that the kids go back and forth to, they have to show us the custody agreement so that they at least have 50% custody of the kids. So once they send all that in, our helpline worker will send them the application, they fill it out, send it back. And then they do the first interview with the family. And that's just a general, how'd you hear about us? What is your need for the VFW National Home? What situation are you in right now? And that's kind of just to get a time frame. If they're homeless, we know that if we need to move fast on this application, because obviously we don't want them, homeless. And so we need to move fast. But if they have a roof over their head and, they're stable for a little bit, we know that we have some time. We try to get through the interview process. Mike gave us a deadline to do 30 days. We've beat that deadline. We've also learned that we can do it within 2 weeks. So we kind of have a range there. We've learned we can do it fast, and we can also, get it under that 30 days. But so they have that initial interview, and then they'll have another interview. That second interview gets really deep into what are your goals, kind of what is your, the background of your situation that you're in. She goes through all the information for the kids, are there any goals for the kids? They just get really in depth on what the family's needs are and what we can do here at the National Home to help them in the process. And then if they fit into what our program is. And then they provide us references, and our helpline worker and some of the case managers will call their references. And then we do a final review, and that final review is all the case managers and myself. Kayla, our helpline worker, will present the family to us, and then we sign off on it, and then they get sent up to our executive director, Mike, for final approval. And then once that's all done, our helpline worker will call the family and let them know if they got accepted, or if they got accepted for off-campus resources, or if they were just denied. A lot of the off-campus resources is that they don't necessarily need the house to live in, but they do need the resources. So we provide them with resources in their area that they can go to get the help that they need. They can still work with the case manager for up to a year for the time that they need off off campus. So the case manager will check in with them, provide them resources. And then if they're accepted, we ask, is there a house ready? And if there's a house ready, what date works with them to come see the house, do a tour. And then we work with facilities to get the house ready for their needs for furniture and beds. And then we put a date on the calendar and they move in. And so that is how our application process works. And then veteran resources, this is our H&E building where I work, and then our resource center is down at the bottom of it. And so Brian is a newly accredited VSO, so veteran service officer. So he's not working on claims yet, but eventually once he gets into the weeds with all of this and learns more of the program, like I said, he just graduated like a month ago from the class. He may start doing claims in the future, but right now he's just working with other VSOs to get more resources and all that. He's working with local peer supporters. He does our Cup of Joe, which we have this Saturday. What that is that at 8 o'clock Saturday morning, any veteran in the area and our veterans on campus can come downstairs of our building, have a donut, a cup of coffee, and they just talk with each other about. I went to the one last month and it was great just to sit up in my office and hear them downstairs talking, laughing, making fun of each other, because that's what veterans do with each other, and just having a good time and getting to know each other. So we're having another one. Our plan is to have them once a month. So that falls in Brian's area. He works with local VA support, job placement. We have resume and job person that just came in. He just spoke over at our town hall. His name's Daniel. He goes by Daniel. He works with the residents that need help finding a job, but he doesn't just find them a job. He sits down, works on their resume with them, and helps them through the process of finding a job, but not just any job, a job that pays to where their education is what they deserve to be paid. And so not to take the first job that comes to them. He'll work with them to get a good paying job and a job that they love and a job that they have passion for, so that they'll excel in that job and stay at that job. So he's worked with 4 of our residents on campus so far, and he's doing a great job. Education assistance, Brian helps with that too. We can get resources in to help them with their education. He can work with other VSOs also to help with the GI Bill and other benefits that they're entitled to. We have a VA health care that's within 20 miles, and Brian has made partnerships with the Battle Creek VA, the Ann Arbor VA. Some of our residents do go to both of those, so Brian stays in touch with them. He also works with the Michigan Veterans Trust Fund, NAGM support groups. They offer grants, and then he works with the local VFWs and all of the VFWs really across the nation. We work with, because we're starting to get, which I like to see, and Sue loves to see, that we have more residents coming from out of state. So thank you to everybody who's helping that happen, because we like I said, we're national, so we like to see the veterans and help veterans from other states. So, and then Brian has other resources like Team RWB. They're a veterans resource that helps fundraise. And then Team Rubicon just came out and helped put down the mulch and everything on our early education playground. So his job really, I'm sorry that he couldn't be here tonight, but his job is really to get these resources in for veterans, get our veteran resource center downstairs fully to provide the resources to our residents on campus, and to get people in those offices, so that way we're a one-stop shop that they can come in any area of their plan or their goals that they need to accomplish and work on, that we have readily available for them. And if we don't have them, that we can find them out in the community or find them in another state. If the veteran or family that lives on campus knows that they want to move to Kentucky, we can work with people in that state to help the transition, to find them someone in that state that does, home mortgages and loans and all of that. So we're excited about it. Like I said, we just cut the ribbon a couple weekends ago. And so we're moving forward, and it's a really, really great thing to see And so far, excuse me, our families have utilized it really well.
Can you
So,
stop share, Ange?
hold on. I gotta figure, oh. Here we go.
There we go. Thank you, Angie. Any questions for Angie? Looks like we got a lot of the trustees on. Hey, guys. There's Teresa. Hi, Teresa from Okie. How you doing? Any questions about anything that Angie went over? We love to answer questions. If you can't think of anything now, but you think of things tomorrow, send an email. Everybody good? Kathy, anything on your end?
Yeah, I wanted to, the slide presentation that Angie just presented.
Mhm.
Will that be available for us to use as an education tool at maybe one of our conventions?
I don't think there's anything on there, right?
No,
We're
yeah, we can send it. The only thing that keeps updating is the screen that I had the case management on that has the numbers. But we can either take that off and send you the numbers when you know you're going to present, or however you'd like it. But that we change because it's changing constantly. So
It was an excellent slide presentation, and
thank you.
answered a tremendous amount of questions. Just people just don't know all the ins and outs of doing it. And as far as the auxiliary goes, most of your chairmen coming in, they're coming in from just at the auxiliary level, and they depend on what they get from the department. So if we could get departments to present that maybe on a afternoon of a convention when they don't have something planned, it might really help get the information out. So I'm
bet.
gonna reach out on that idea.
You bet. Debbie, you got a question?
I do. Can you hear me?
I
No.
can. Oh, now you're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to say it was a great presentation too, and I enjoyed seeing all the aspects of the home. And I'm excited to say that Kentucky's planning a trip, and I think the dates are April 21st, something like that. We're coming down for it's a weekend, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday trip. And our state commander is helping arrange that with you guys. So that's how I got the dates.
Oh,
was
Nathan?
From him.
Nathan Sesko?
Nathan, yeah.
Yeah, we
Yes.
love Nathan
So
here. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's being set up, and I'm working with him on the auxiliary side for the department to get the interest of who wants to go.
Nice. We
So I'm
appreciate
very
that.
excited. I can't wait to see it. So
Oh,
I
that's
know it'll be
great.
a great experience.
That's great. And
And
that's a
then-
perfect, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I was going to change the subject. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Kathy,
Yes.
I wondered if there's a promotion in December. I did want to, other than this, I think I sent you that, Kathy. Did you see it?
Yes, you did. That was really nice. Yeah, that was the card, the memorial card, so that she promoted and
Yeah.
framed it. Looked really pretty.
Could you put it closer
Yeah.
to the camera, Debbie, so everybody up? Maybe we can't see it.
It's got too much white in it. There you
Yeah,
go. That's good. That's better.
Yeah, there it is.
that
Oh,
was
that's
the,
super nice.
Yeah, that was the memorial card that we invited, accepted donations, and put that on the table. I was particularly pleased with that because of the younger members of the family being able to see. And as far as the promotion for December goes, it's the reindeer tree, a reindeer card. I don't know whether you saw that or not. It was a 5x7 card that she made a reindeer out of a candy cane, and it was a Christmas card. And so essentially you're giving a candy cane to someone for at Christmas time, or the candy cane also becomes an ornament for a tree. I happened to buy them because I stuck a little gift card behind the reindeer to give all of my grandchildren, because I never know what to buy teenagers. I mean, they drive me crazy. But anyway, and so I used them to do that. So it really met a need for me, Debbie, and that I was able to meet my contribution to the home for Christmas and my auxiliary, and at the same time utilize what I was doing to fit in what I had to do for my grandchildren. So that's what it was. It's on Facebook. It's on the Facebook page. If you go to our if you go to the Facebook page for the chairman, it's on that. And if you would like, I can send you the directions again, but it was on the blog that just went out in October. The directions for making it was on the blog in October.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I saw the pumpkin and this one that I just showed you. We're going to continue this one for the Christmas meal at someone's table as well.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah, I'd like to see the regular one.
okay. I'll
If you
let
can
me just-
send it.
I'll make a note to send it to you. That's you're in Kentucky, right? Tiffany.
Kathy,
Yes.
Kathy, it's Carolyn from Department of Pennsylvania. I did not see that one either. Could you send it to me, please?
Carolyn in Pennsylvania. Did you guys not get the
Yeah.
blog?
No.
No. Okay.
No,
The one thing, the one thing I got was only about the framed card and the pumpkin
Okay.
for October, but I did not get anything about the reindeer.
The reindeer. Okay, I'll send that to both of you. Kentucky and Pennsylvania. That'll go out tomorrow.
Thank
I'll
you.
send it. Yeah, you'll have it. It was real simple, and my
Thank
auxiliary.
you.
Yeah, my auxiliary. And within, they did it at a auxiliary meeting and did not expect anything stupendous, but the card, they bought a pack of cards, a pack of cards that had 50 in it, and they sold them within the hour.
Oh, that's
We
awesome.
charged $2 a card, kept it under Hallmark's prices, but enough to make money, on it. And it
Yeah.
was an easy $100 in an hour.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Could I
awesome.
also get
was
that?
That's great.
That was going along with the idea of trying to fund some of the Home Fund Heroes obligations.
Kathy,
Yeah, that's
Yes.
great.
this is Flora
Hey,
from the
thank you.
Department of New York. Could I get one too?
Sure, be glad to. Yeah,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
you're welcome. I'll send that out tomorrow.
Kathy,
Yes.
this is Camille from New Jersey. I would like to have a copy too, because I've been having trouble with my Facebook, and I've been having trouble receiving things, and I didn't receive that either.
Okay, I'll send that out. There's 4 of you tomorrow. So yeah,
Well,
look for that tomorrow and I'll get it out right away to you.
Kathy.
Thank you.
Oops, Kathy, this is Paul from Massachusetts. Could you send it to me as well?
Yeah, I must have fallen down on this. Okay, Massachusetts. Got it out. But like I said, we put them out and they went instantly. It was amazing
That's
how
great.
quickly it was done. Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else? Oh, looks like Mr. Keith Jackson has a question.
Unfortunately, I do not have a question. I have a statement. First
Okay.
of all, I'd like to thank both Sue and Angie for putting this on. We also have the president to the board of directors, Annabelle, on the line also. I just wanted to recognize her also. But hey, everything you guys are doing is great. We, the board of directors, we really appreciate everything that you guys are doing and getting the word out. So please continue to push hard. We are working very hard at the board of directors to make things better and to make things a lot faster. So if there's anything that we can do, please reach out to Annabelle or myself, and we'll be more than happy to talk to you. So once again, thank you, Angie and Sue, for putting this on. I've been doing this now for over a year with you guys, and I'll tell you, it's awesome every time, and I learn something new every time. So thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Keith.
you.
I agree. Thank you.
Annabelle, yes, Annabelle.
Thank you, Keith. And I just want to say that, again, Sue and Angie, awesome job. And Kathy, keep doing everything you're doing. We,
Thank
the
you.
board, appreciate it. We're trying hard towards a brighter future, as we all know. And Keith, give me a call when you're free. I need to talk to you.
Yes, ma'am, I will. I will call you.
Rick Holland, do you have a question?
Yes, I got on a little late. I couldn't get out of my other work Zoom meeting early enough. So I got on a little late and caught just the very end of Angie's presentation there. And so I was hoping that maybe I could get an emailed copy of the presentation or something so I can go over it.
There'll be, Rick, there'll be a email sent out for with a link to the recording.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because I actually, I don't know if you remember, but last time I forgot to push the button recording. So Megan set it up so I didn't have to do anything.
The other thing I wanted to mention is, because I missed the meeting last month because of work again, but previous month, the talk or discussion was about the Homefront Heroes program and trying to get more people signed up for that and stuff. And at the time, I think there was some discussion about trying to get the departments and auxiliaries and MOCAs and cooties signed up themselves, pup tents as well. And I started asking some of the pup tents and posts, and the auxiliaries and the MOCA came back and told me that they're not allowed to do that. Something about an obligation, and so they can't sign up for that monthly thing, the actual MOCA or auxiliary. And I was wondering if anybody else ran into that issue.
They need to talk to Kathy Farley on how to raise that money.
Well, I think what they're referring to is, I think every department makes a contribution to the home automatically every year, and they may be feeling that that is already their contribution, that they don't have to do it anymore, but that's not necessarily true.
No, it had more to do with something in, so I don't know if it was national bylaws or state or post bylaws or whatever, but something about they're not allowed to, that's like taking out a loan and an obligation or whatnot, and they're not allowed to obligate the auxiliary or the MOCAs. I haven't ran into that problem with the post side, but then again, I haven't got a post to sign up yet.
We have many auxiliaries signed up, Rick, so I don't know.
Okay,
and
well,
Rick, the donation that you're referring to, that they would be making to Homefront Heroes, that can come out of the relief fund.
well, yeah, it's
That's
not a problem of
because
where it comes out of. It had to do with, there was something, they were saying they're not legally allowed to because it's a monthly obligation and they're not allowed to go into long-term obligations or whatnot. And I said, but you can start and stop at any time you want. It's not,
Yeah.
and they're like,
That's exactly
no,
right.
we got word, because apparently Lori Nettles out here, she went back and asked the MOCA Supreme, and apparently they're the ones that came back and said, no, they can't sign up for that.
Well, I can't answer for the anything other than the VFW and the VFW auxiliary, and there's no restrictions on those two, the VFW organization to being a Homefront Hero.
Yeah, and I didn't see
Yeah, I don't
anything
know
in
about the
anybody's bylaws that would have
cooties.
prevented them from doing them. I think somebody's just misinterpreting something.
It could be, but the cooties do go by different rules than we do. So that would be something that would have to be addressed with the grand, I don't know
Yeah,
what you call him, the big cootie.
Supreme.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
All
I
right,
just
any other
happen to be the
questions?
chairman for both, so.
Yeah. So let me just bring up something, especially now that I got some of these chairmen online. One of your, I think it was Michigan, as a matter of fact, that sent this to me. It was your Santa shop workshop gift suggestions list. And we were talking about it recently about doing it, but of course it wouldn't make any sense for us to spend all that money in shipping items. So we were considering doing an angel tree and just putting the gift on the tree and let the donation go towards that gift, and then just sending all of that to you. Is that something that's feasible?
Oh, how would you do that?
Would
You
you
do
send
it-
you the money
Just send the money and then
or the Santa workshop?
then if that gets set up, what, in about December 15th, I think. And if you designate money for Christmas Santa shop, then if there's anything specific the families needed and didn't get, we could use the money that way, if you restrict it that way.
That's what we would do. We'd say that these are some of the suggested items. This
Yep.
is the cost. If you want to donate $5, that's just how it would go. And this is what it,
Yep.
okay. So I just want to make sure before I promote it.
Perfect.
Okay. So all they'd have to do is say, this is for Santa's workshop.
Yep.
Okay. Got it.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We really appreciate you taking time to jump on and visit. And it's just great to see you guys. And we appreciate you so much and everything that you do. And it's a great time to be at the National Home. That's all I can say. We've got a lot of great momentum. The trustees on the call can attest to that. Annabelle. Mike's done a great job. He's going to have his 1-year anniversary pretty soon. He's a great leader, and the home's a lot of people are going to know about the home in the next short while. So, and again, we thank you for everything you do to help us get that word out and to help the families. I was over there today, and I mean, that's why we're here, the families, but we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys out there working. So we never forget that either. So have a great night.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yep. Happy
Yes,
Thanksgiving.
happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We'll send this link out and please share it. Share it to everybody you know.
Hey, Sue.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you. Good
So I had
night.
my hand up. You didn't see it.
Wait.
Oh, sorry, Debbie.
I have a quick question. I
Oh,
had
Sarah.
one.
Hi, Sarah. I'm sorry.
Hi, Sue. Quick question. I had an auxiliary ask, when they sign up to be a home front hero, can they specify, like, can we say we want it to go to Illinois houses? Or does it just automatic? Are we allowed to do that?
Yeah, yes, you can. But just so you know, Illinois houses are very well funded.
I know, but I've got
Yep.
some auxiliaries that that's the only way they'll agree
Yeah.
to do it.
No, that's fine.
We can
That's
do that.
fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. Take care now. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Bye.
Good night.